piece is called St. Vrain, and I wrote it in the St. Vrain River in Colorado a couple of summers ago. I was sitting on a boulder in the middle of the creek, and I walked into the creek, and I put my iPhone very bravely on my knee, and I hit record, and I just started doodling, and this little riff kind of came to me. And at the time, I knew what I wanted to hear, but I had to sit there, and I still have the recording. I think I must have sat there for 5 minutes just training my hand to smoothly do that riff over and over again. And then I started building on that, and I just started doing little walk-ups, and it almost felt like the river was writing the piece for me, because it all just sort of just flowed together, and my hands sort of knew where they wanted to go. This is a Taylor DN3, and I've always liked the sound of it. I have the capo here on the 6th fret, and it just, there's this ring to it. And it just feels good to let all of the tones just ring on top of each other. So I composed most of the piece there in the river, and then when I came back home to North Carolina, I listened back and started doodling with it. And then when I get to this last piece, it moves straight into which is the nicest segue into a song on my album. So I have a new album that comes out on April 23rd of this year, and that whole piece just kind of melds into each other. And to me, it feels, I had just gone tubing for the first time, and it feels like tubing down the river. Every once in a while you get snagged on a branch, or the rapids, you get caught up on a boulder, and then the rapids sort of sweep you. And I wanted that feeling of just motion and stalling, and the tones of sort of an echo, a call and response, the way there were these canyons. It was in Lyons, Colorado, and just the way that things echo off the rocks. And I think the river wrote this piece more than I did. I almost feel bad for taking credit for it. But I studied classical guitar for 6 years with late Danny Infantino in my hometown in Southern Pines, North Carolina. And I really love the nylon string, the sound of nylon strings and the ease of playing classical, but I was drawn to this guitar. And I remember when I got this guitar, I sat and played every guitar that they had in the shop. And this is the one that I always write on this guitar. It's a large guitar for my body, and I would love to find something that is a smaller cutaway. I find that I'm always fighting, because I love to play up here on the neck. To find something that's more cutaway. When I bought the guitar, I wasn't thinking about anything but how it sounded. But I haven't found anything that has the brightness, but also the bass and the volume of this guitar that feels as good. But bringing that classical guitar technique over to this guitar, and on this album being able to compose a piece, was just deeply satisfying. So I hope that you enjoyed it. It's called St. Vrain.